After the mutiny, we suddenly saw a very different Putin. We saw a Putin who was going out in the middle of crowds, like a Western politician on a campaign trail. I find it surprising that he would change, sort of so dramatically. You get all kinds of bizarre rumors and conspiracy theories surrounding Putin, in part precisely because Putin is so secretive in terms of his personal life. Often we don't even know where he is. I mean, each of his various sort of palaces and headquarters have an identical office, so that he can do a video address, and we don't know from that which one of them he's in. As part of that security, obviously, there's a lot of assumptions about body doubles. And some people say that he's got this whole stable of different body doubles. I'm not convinced about that. But that said, for someone who, especially since COVID, has been so determined to keep everyone at arm's length, we've all seen pictures of those ludicrously long tables, for example. My suspicion is that actually he was immunosuppressed, so that he basically can't take vaccines and could suffer very badly if he did catch COVID, which is why he became so paranoid. And yet, yes, after the mutiny, we suddenly saw a very different Putin. We saw a Putin who was going out in the middle of crowds. And then, so there's not just about physical contact and, yes, standing, posing for selfies and that kind of thing. It was also that his security was just much, much less evident. Usually there is a massive security cordon around him, everything from snipers on the rooftops to all the black-suited, ear-pieced guys that are in a phalanx around him. Suddenly we saw Putin in Dagestan, in St. Petersburg, out there pressing the flesh like a Western politician on a campaign trail. I find it surprising that he would change, sort of so dramatically, and indeed that his security people would let him. And every now and then there have been other cases where we have seen an uncharacteristic Putin. For example, I mean, unlike President Zelensky of Ukraine, he has not visited the front line. What we did see at one point was him going to Mariupol, one of the conquered and largely flattened Ukrainian cities in the south. And again, we saw him being driven around, just him and a couple of other people in an ordinary car and such like. Very uncharacteristic for a man who generally now only travels by large bulletproof limousine. So there is a suspicion that where there are particular cases where Putin doesn't have to say anything particularly important, isn't meeting some VIP, but on the other hand, has to put himself in harm's way, that's more likely to be a body double. And again, it's part of the panoply of an authoritarian state to do this.